The Creation of All. Chapter 11. Kuiga and I got a little lost while searching for where the others set up the campsite. While walking through the trees, we start to see the craft in the distance just as one of the suns starts to rise. "Weren't you going to meet someone here?" Kuiga asks out of nowhere. "Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm not surprised he didn't show up. Not after all the... death." "Yeah, I can see that." "Hold on." Kuiga suddenly stops. Something's wrong. Look around. There was a fight here. I see broken branches, torn up ground, and splatters of blue blood on the leaves. What happened here? "A few hours before your hand came out of the ground, I heard some weapon fire and animal sounds I've never heard before. It was terrifying. I think that might have been what happened here." "Might? You should have said that sooner. Something must have attacked the others." I shout and start running up through the trees to help them. "Help! Someone! Anyone!" I hear Kaduki shout as he comes running out from behind some bushes. "Kaduki, what happened? Is everyone okay?" I ask, desperate to know while running towards him. "You!" He shouts at me angrily. He looks mad at me like I did something. "What? What happened?" "Someone came looking for you." "For me? Who?" "Some guy with white hair. He brought a monster with him. It attacked us. All the others are seriously injured. There's so much blood. It broke the craft so we can't leave. This is all your fault." "My fault? Where's the monster?" "White hair? Is it that guy from Turdrum? He's the only person I know who knows me with white hair." "Bodaka was able to hurt it. The dang thing is hiding in the woods now." Kuiga then grabs my wrist. "It's after you. You're the one it wants." He starts pulling me along. "What are you doing?" "I'm taking you to the monster. Once it has you, it'll leave." I press my foot against the ground and pull my arm away from Kaduki. "Hold on, I'll go," I say, wanting to help them, though talk of this monster is worrying me. I've been overcoming some serious challenges recently, though that incident with Hedroa was mostly luck, and that problem may come back later on. I take a few steps towards the craft, but I stop when I hear a roar. It's so loud I can feel the sound go through me. Coming down from my right in the woods, I can see it. It's a giant animal. It looks like some beast that's the size of an elephant covered in spikes. The head is just a giant mouth that has arms with clawed fingers reaching out from inside it. "What is that?" I shout, terrified. Looking back, I see Kuiga running away. I follow after her. "There it is! That's the thing you want!" I hear Kugi shout while I run. I wanted to help Bodaka and the others, but I guess having this thing chase me is helping them. The monster's gaining on me. With all this panic, turning myself red seems easier than normal. Also, I've been practicing this since Awacho, and I make myself stronger. I manage to outrun the monster and catch up to Kuiga. "Any ideas? We're out in the middle of nowhere. How are we going to get away from this thing?" The obvious solution would be to stand our ground and fight, but this thing took down Bodaka and the others. I may survive an attack by it, but will Kuiga? I start to pass Kuiga. Is my speed more than what an average criminal can do? "Brace yourself!" Kuiga shouts, and before I can, she jumps on my back. I'm barely able to catch myself and almost fall over. I have to spread the red over my upper body to make me strong enough to support her. Once I do, carrying her is easy. I'm starting to figure out this new body of mine. "Head that way!" Kuiga shouts, pointing to the left. Without thinking, I turn and the monster gets closer because of it. "What's this way?" "Hopefully a rail ship," she shouts, and I'm not sure what that is, but if it can help, I'll run to it. This monster is roaring at us, and Kuiga is shouting at me to go faster. In the corner of my eyes, I can see the hands from its mouth reaching to grab us. I have to run faster, and I'm able to. I'm running faster than I ever have before. My legs are moving so fast I can barely feel them. It's like I'm gliding just over the ground. I can see another line of trees just ahead. "Keep running forward." Kuiga shouts, and the monster, which I've gotten ahead of, starts shooting out some globs of orange slime out of its mouth at us. "To the right," Kuiga shouts, and I move just as the slime hits the ground. I can hear the grass that landed on sizzling as I run past it. That slime must dissolve whatever it gets on. We make it to the line of trees, and Kuiga tells me to jump. Bursting past the trees, I jump. While in the air, I see a large, wide ditch right in front of me. In the middle of the ditch is a huge train that's moving past us. It's moving so fast it looks like a blur, and it's moving almost silently, creating only a light hum. "Land on it!" Kuiga shouts, and landing on it is easy enough, as the train cars are as tall as the ditch, so they're level with the ground. Landing on the last car, I find the surface of it so smooth that I slide right across, and I'm about to fall off the other side. Kuiga puts the tip of her tail on the roof of the car, grinding into it to help us stop from sliding. The monster jumps, trying to land on the car with us. It grips the end of it, but didn't get a good enough grip. I watch its hands constantly changing shape, trying to get a good grip. Kuiga jumps off my back, and we each kick a hand off the roof of the car. It hits the ground, and we zoom away from it. We hear its wailing for a few seconds before it's out of sight. What was that? Also, how did you know this train would be here? I ask her, as she did seem to know it would be here. While you were underground last night, I saw the lights of one passing by off in the distance. One being here now was just luck. I honestly thought we were going to die. As for that monster, I have no idea what that was. Lucky us, I say with so many thoughts in my head. Well, that's over. Now what? Kuiga asks, and I don't feel comfortable talking while standing on this slick surface while moving this fast. How about we get inside first? Kuiga looks down at the roof, stabs a hole in it with the tip of her tail, and walks around me, cutting a circle into the roof. We drop down inside, and I look up to see a weapon pointed right at my face. What are you? Someone asks me. Who are you? He asks Kuiga. This guy is wearing Citan armor. He's a soldier, but he's jittery. Is he scared of us? I'm Vayne, she's Kuiga, and we're just seeking refuge from a monster. Is it cool if we hide here for a little while? We gotta figure some things out, I say, trying to sound friendly so he hopefully won't be too aggressive. I honestly can't think of anything else to say after what happened. He seems to take a moment to think it over, but he soon lowers his weapon. Sure. I just don't want any trouble. So long as you two behave, we won't have any problems. I'm Baragio, by the way. I'm just supposed to guard this space. You two can hide in the corner and don't cause a fuss, he says, pointing to the rear left corner. You seem new at this, Kuiga says before walking to the corner. I sort of am, he says before sitting down on a bunk that's attached to the wall. This car has 3 rows of beds built onto both walls. I guess this is where soldiers sleep on long trips. 18 beds in total. Did that many sleep at the same time on this train? Strangely, he isn't bothered by the hole we made in the ceiling. I didn't think Citan would tolerate the incompetence from this guy. Just what is he guarding here? We get to the corner and both slide down to sit on the floor, to finally catch our breath. They're probably dead, Kuiga says bluntly. That happened to them because of me. Who is sending monsters after me? It must be the same person who sent those 2 after me before, and now they're using a monster. Seems like they won't give up on me. I don't really want to go with people using violent monsters. Things tend to get destroyed, and people get hurt wherever you go. You are getting better at that red trick you do, Kuiga casually says. Things like this never happened on Earth. Why have so many suffered because of me? I'm too worried about all those I've hurt to care about my red trick right now. What are you going to do now? Kuiga asks, and I didn't really hear her. Budak and the others could be dead, but according to Sekiro, they were probably going to hurt us. Now it's just me and Kuiga. Suddenly I'm filled with the urge to find Trent. I want to find Trent. How do I do that? Your friend? The one that betrayed you? Are you going to kill him? No, I just don't want to waste any more time. I've been following those guys this whole time because I didn't know what else I could do. And that doesn't matter anymore. I want to find Trent, and I won't let anything stop me. Well, good luck with that. If Citan turned him into an FBW, like what they did to you to him, Citan could have sent him anywhere on the planet. Or killed him. If you're looking for one FBW, you can check the Citan database. You can access it from the Vivicor shipment facility. This railship will be passing it in a few hours. Baragio says, having been listening to us. That's an odd soldier, Kuiga says, and I have to agree. He must not be their best or brightest. Probably why they stuck him back here. The border! I forgot! Baragio shouts and then looks at the hole we made. He jumps up, stammering before he starts explaining. The Citan blackhorns along the border! Baragio says, and Kuiga explains to me. They're small plants that sprout long black vines that have big thorns on them. Citan planted them along their border. Citan protects their border with thorns? I ask, as this doesn't sound right. No, it's the animals who live in the blackhorn brambles that protect the border. The Ipikikis. Did you say Ipikis? I ask, as that name sounds way too silly. No, Ipikikis. They're the most territorial and aggressive creatures on the planet. They violently attack, ripping apart anything that comes near their blackhorns, and rail ships pass right through them, and I just made a hole they can get in through, Kuiga says, and she sounds nervous about this.
Yeah, we're going to get mauled now. Badagio stammers. The rail ship can run a current of Krelly through the exterior layer to keep the Ipikikis off, but now they'll get inside.
Krelly is the energy source everyone uses for everything. Saiton uses CO mostly, but they still find uses for Krelly. Kuiga quickly explains before I need to ask. I sort of knew that's what it was anyway. Okay, so what should we do? Cut the car loose, I ask, thinking that would be the easiest solution. The two look at me as if they have no idea what I'm talking about.
What do you mean? What car?
Badagio asks, and I quickly come to a realization. This train is one long vehicle, isn't it? I'm just used to seeing trains as a long line of cars, so I just assumed. Everything happened so fast. I hadn't noticed that this is one long vehicle. That can't be. How does this thing make turns?
It doesn't. All the rails are straight. The fastest way to anywhere is a straight line, so all the rails are made straight from one station to the next.
Badagio shouts in my face.
Okay, then we'll have to barricade the door, I suggest as my plan B. Ain't nothing on this ship heavy enough to keep Ipikikis out. Each one is 5 times stronger than the average Krividol.
Fine, then what should we do? I shout, frustrated.
Oh, Dotaro. We should just ask him to use his power to seal the hole.
Badagio shouts, sounding excited. Power? Does that mean he's an agent? Kuiga asks, and that does sound concerning. No way an agent is going to leave us alone.
Of course. Council members must have the protection of at least one agent when they leave the homeland.
Badagio explains, and I'm curious about this council. I stare at Kuiga, and she quickly explains. Saiton is ruled by a president and his council of 10 members. Each one is in charge of something important.
That's right. And on this rail ship is Garabia, the council member in charge of agriculture.
Agriculture? I ask as I was expecting something else.
Yeah, her help was needed on the far east side of Lorita. They were having trouble with the soil they used to grow vilts.
Badagio says, and I realize I need to be more worried about this agent.
Listen, you two look real nervous about this, and I don't want to cause trouble. I like my railship rides to be nice and smooth, so we'll find some place for you two to hide.
Badagio stops talking as soon as he opens the door. Entering the room, I see blue Krividal blood splattered all over the walls, with hunks of flesh all over the floor. What happened here? I shout in horror.
I don't know. I was on break and was sleeping until you two woke me up,
Badagio says, sounding as afraid as I am. Any ideas what could have caused this? Kuiga asks with her deadpan tone, making it sound like she really doesn't care about this.
None at all. The alarm didn't even go off,
Badagio says, pointing to the lights on the ceiling near the door. Both of them aren't on. I suppose we need to check this out and find out if there's anyone left alive who can stop this train, I nervously say, not wanting to meet what could have caused this. The other two agree, and we walk through the mess on the floor to get to the door. You okay? I ask Kuiga. A bit scared, but other than that, I'm fine. I'm sure we can handle whatever tore those people apart, I say, hoping to reassure her. What makes you so sure we can do that? Nothing, I was just trying to reassure you so you wouldn't be scared.
Oh, okay. Geez, whatever did this broke through their armor, Badagio says, picking up pieces of shattered Saiton armor, just like the kind he's wearing. I then look around and see the laser marks burned onto the wall.
Hey, wait a minute. There was a huge fight in here. They didn't go down quietly. How'd you sleep through all this? Badagio doesn't respond. He just stares at the bits of armor before dropping them back on the bloody floor. Did he have friends who died? I decide not to press the issue. Going into the next room, I almost lose my mind. It's an endless white corridor, smeared with blood and more torn flesh. This space is longer than the actual train. What's going on?
Uh-oh. Dotaro is already using his power. He's manipulating the reality in here. He must be fighting whatever killed everyone right now,
Badagio says while raising his weapon. You're not a very good soldier. I'm having a hard time believing you're real, Kuiga says, noticing how Badagio's hands are shaking.
Hey, give me a break. I was on break resting, and now I found myself in this situation. How would anyone else respond? I should be restraining you two. You want me to lock you two up in that room so I can get torn apart here?
Fine, calm down, I say, not wanting to upset him while we're in this uncertain situation. We can't even see the end of this hall. What is this place?
The space of the rail ship is being affected by Dotaro. He can transform any space into a series of white corridors and rooms by altering their size at will. He fights by trapping or crushing his opponents in this space. The space should have returned to normal by now. He must be dealing with a serious threat.
But Agio explains, and I think any power that gives you the control of the space around your enemies is pretty powerful. We all take another step and instantly start falling. We fall straight down for a few seconds. Then it shifts so that we're falling at an angle. Then straight down again. Then at an angle again. The three of us press our claws against the white wall, and we soon manage to come to a stop, hanging in place. So, what do we do now? Kuiga asks, sounding like her usual calm and disinterested self. And I don't have a clue what to do. Escaping this space seems impossible with no end in sight. Heads up, Kuiga says, breaking me out of my thoughts. I look up and see someone else falling towards us. Catch them! I shout, and Baragio and I both reach out and we both grab this guy together. Kuiga doesn't try. Hey, you okay, buddy? I don't know why I said that last part. Also, a floor appeared under our feet as soon as we let go of the wall. This guy we caught is dressed in a white, formal-looking shirt tucked into his black pants. He has dark yellow skin and short green hair. It's Dotaro! Baragio shouts out, but Dotaro seems to be out of it and not awake. We need to wake him up! Give him a good shake! Baragio shouts, and he starts shaking him, inevitably slamming his face against the wall. I think that's just hurting him more. I say, but Dotaro snaps awake right after I say that. Grabia! He shouts in shock. No, sir! I'm Baragio, soldier 3rd class, number 240Y6D5S. That number seemed like it could have kept going on forever, but Dotaro cuts him off. Yeah, I get it. You can put me down now. I let him go, and he wobbles a bit and puts a hand against the wall. Now, get ready, soldier, and... Dotaro stops, now taking a look at me and Kuiga. What are you people? He asks in a stern tone like he's ordering us around. Vayne! I shout, raising my hand, not sure why I did. Kuiga! She raises her hand, too, and shouts in an unmotivated voice. I'll deal with you trespassers later. Right now, there's a threat. He looks up, as do I, and I can see something else falling, but I can't tell if it's a person. I notice a ceiling appear just above us. Look, I just removed that space that thing was in, so it should be crushed into atoms, but it's going to break through reality itself to get to us, so be ready. Dotaro says, and I'm not sure what the current situation is. So, what's going on? I ask at the same time. Some black thing tears through the ceiling, swiping an arm and hitting me in the face. It hit so hard it chipped a bunch of my teeth that now have to grow back. I feel something other than pain on my face. Am I bleeding? I wipe it off and see that it's not blood. It's a blackish goop left on my face from whatever hit me. It reminds me of oil or grease. I look up in front of me to see is that a robot? It's standing right in front of me with glowing red eyes. This robot is roughly the same height as me. It's made of shiny black metal. It looks like it's made up of balls and pegs of various sizes with that goopy, greasy goop coating it. The black goo on my hand wraps around it, constricts, and snaps my bones. I shout in pain as the goo jumps off me and returns to the robot. I get to my feet, feeling the bones in my hand moving back into place. The pain is excruciating. Once I stand up, this robot starts thrashing around, punching, kicking, and jumping all over and off the walls. It's moving way too fast for any of us to hit. It keeps landing blows on all of us. My body can recover, but I don't know how long the others can last. Shoot it! Dotaro shouts, almost pleading to Baragio. He fires his laser but misses and almost takes off Kuiga's head. He singed her hair. The robot then somehow grips the ceiling before turning around and smashing through the wall. It's going after Garabia again! Dotaro shouts, and he makes all the white walls vanish in an instant. We found ourselves standing at the end of this room with the door in front of us. We run into the next room and hear screaming. The room has monitors made of light all over the walls. There is a pillar in the center of the room with a circular couch around it. The couch has rails along the seat, making it look like that one cushion attached to them can rotate around it. There is a console of controls attached to the rail at the base of the couch as well. Dotaro! We hear a voice shout as a light purple-skinned blonde female criminal crawls out from under the couch. Garabia! Dotaro says, sounding relieved. The two hug each other and kiss, holding it for a few seconds. I'm glad you're okay. But you're not. You're bleeding, Garabia says, sounding really sad. Wait a minute. Council members and agents aren't supposed to be that close. You two can get in serious trouble, Baragio says, and the two seem to realize they're not alone. Dotaro, kill them, Garabia quickly orders before she stares at me. That thing looks familiar. Hey, it has the same gel clothes I do. Now I remember. It was when I was passing by. I noticed it when Udo was showing it and the other one off to Udama and Tanzu. The other one? You mean Trent? I asked, hoping that he was turned into a weapon like me. That would mean he should be alive. Garabia just screams as I get closer to her. Kill it! Totoro, kill it! I can't. I may need their help to destroy this enemy. You mean you haven't done it yet? Garabia asks, sounding upset as she pushes Totoro away. That thing could be anywhere. You mean it didn't come in here? Totoro asks, as it did look like the robot came this way. I start looking around the room with Kuiga to see if we can see where the robot may strike from. I just can't believe you two would risk everything. What made you two want to hook up so much? Badagio asks them, and I wonder why he doesn't seem to care about the robot. Get away from us! Garabia says sharply, clearly annoyed by Badagio. Suddenly the robot bursts out of the floor behind Garabia. It grabs onto her, trying to pull her back, but Totoro grabs onto the robot, trying to pull Garabia away from it. Help me! Garabia screams and I rush over. I start punching the robot in the face. Doing this seems to draw its attention to me. It starts trying to punch me, but I'm able to dodge, but its slime keeps getting on me, turning into thin needles that stab into me. I can't pull them out, but my body is able to push them out when it heals. Do your red trick! Kuiga shouts at me, and she's right. I don't have any other option. This thing is fracturing my bones with each hit. I feel the energy in the core of my body, and I start spreading it out, covering my entire body with it. I then see that everyone is moving so much slower, but soon realize that I'm the one moving faster, as the robot is swinging its leg up at me. But now it looks so slow that I can easily avoid it. I start hitting it, and I can feel the parts start to break. I try to smash it to pieces, but the black slime pushes the parts away, splitting the robot's body in half, and then pulling them back together around my arm. The robot starts pummeling me. I can feel my skull starting to cave in. Vayne, your red is fading. I hear Kuiga shout, and I can see the red on my caught arm going dark. Once it turns black, it'll break off, and once that happens, smashing my skull will become much easier for this thing. I feel the source of the power in me, and I keep it spread out. The red returns, and I lift the robot above my head, and I slam its head against the floor. The robot grabs my arm that's stuck in it, and it lifts me over its head, and slams me against the floor. I see that stone I picked up back in the underground temple fall out of my pocket. I quickly grab it and put it back without giving it much thought. I swing my legs up and put its head between them. Pulling down, I'm able to get on my feet, then jump, pile-driving the robot. I put the robot against the floor. Putting my foot on it, I force my arm free. After all that, I find that I'm now completely covered in the black slime. That starts to move, wrapping all around me, and starts constricting. But since I'm red, it's not hurting as much as before. The slime seems to understand and jumps back onto the robot. I start punching and kicking, but the slime keeps pulling apart the spots I'm trying to hit, then pushes them back together. It keeps hitting back before I can pull my arm or leg back. You're doing a bad job. Kuiga shouts, and I can see her and Badagio just standing there while Totoro is standing in front of Garabia. That's it. Kuiga's ability is what I need, but it's moving too fast for her, and it can break apart, making it so hard to hit. That's when I have an idea. I shove the robot away with my shoulder and run to Totoro. Kuiga, get over here! I shout her, and while she does, the robot tries to attack us. I'm able to move fast enough to get it on my shoulders and throw it to the other side of the room. I tell my idea to Kuiga and Totoro. The robot charges towards us, and Totoro creates a small square space around us, leaving Garabia and Badagio on the outside. The robot doesn't react and keeps charging. Now! I charge forward, throwing myself at the robot, trying to grab its legs, but it jumps over me. Kuiga is already crouching in place, and Totoro lowers the ceiling so it's just above the robot, and Kuiga backflips, her tail dragging across the ceiling, bisecting the robot in half, destroying most of it with her ability. The remaining pieces and slime fall on the floor, not moving. It's over! We got it! I shout, celebrating as Totoro removes the space and we return to Garabia's room. For some reason, I'm the only one celebrating. Kuiga is just standing there, being herself. Badagio is oddly being quiet. I wish his face wasn't covered by that visor. Totoro is now staring daggers at me along with Garabia, who is hiding behind him. Oh, that's right. We're trespassers and technically non-official enemies of Seitan. Totoro and Badagio are going to attack us now. In my celebrating, I let the red fade off me. It's a bit hard to bring it back so soon after using it. I'm not looking forward to fighting someone who can surround me with a trash compactor. Before anything can happen, the train suddenly tips over. Several white and black strands tear through the right side of the train, lifting it up, pushing it off the rail before pulling it back with a snapping motion. The entire room around us is shredded to bits by the black strands while the white ones form a sphere around me. After a few seconds, the strands recede, and I can see that me, Kuiga, and Dotoro are sitting on a pile of rubble. The wreckage of the train is in front and behind us. Only this room we were in was torn to bits. "Garabia, where are you?" Dotoro shouts, getting up, and he starts searching through the debris, desperate to find her. He's absolutely frantic. "Dotoro!" We hear Garabia shout from the top of the hill to the right of us. We look and see another strange sight that I'm struggling to believe. Floating just 5 inches off the ground is a mass of black and white rags? Strands? I'm not going to assume to know what that is made of, but it's shaped like some sort of sorcerer or ghost. A ghost sorcerer. Karaki did say ghosts were a thing on Mextra. It has 2 arms, but the sleeves are so long and baggy I can't see any hands there. The face is covered by a hood, and all I can see is a faint yellow light shining from where the face should be. On the end of the right sleeve, there are several white strands wrapped around Garabia, holding her up. "What are you?" Dotoro shouts to the cloaked specter. I'm so used to getting asked that, I thought he was shouting at me at first. "Ever since the agents Mitoba and council member Nyoto fell in love and tried to use Mitoba's power against the current Saitan president Chago, relationships between agents and council members have been severely outlawed. As the president doesn't want his agents to be more loyal to his council than him, turn around and walk home, and we will keep your secret so that you may keep your life." The strange black and white ghost says to Dotoro, "You've made the biggest mistake!" Dotoro says in a rage, and he creates a box around the ghost, but does so while keeping Garabia on the outside. This cuts the white strands holding her, and she drops to the ground. The white strands dig into the soil like worms. Flat worms. "Dotoro!" Garabia screams, tears in her eyes, as she runs towards him with open arms, but before she can reach him, black strands come out of the debris Dotoro is standing on, stabbing into him in several places before quickly pulling back out. A huge amount of blood spews from Dotoro's body, getting all over Garabia, who starts screaming as Dotoro collapses, and once he does, the white box he created vanishes and the ghost is unharmed. Those strands worm their way out of the wreckage, and I see them turn back to white and rejoin with the ghost's cloak, which I think may be his body. "I gave you the option to live, but now you'll get to bleed out, though you may survive long enough to get help if you don't move." White strands extend from the end of his sleeve, wrapping around Garabia again, pulling her back to him. That's when I notice Baragio walking up to the ghost. "Baragio, watch out!" I shout, warning him, worried he may be attacked next. "What? I'm a spy! I work for Drayonis!" He shouts back, and I'm a little confused. "You mean that black and white ghost?" I shout back. "Yes! And he's not a ghost. He created both the solid and fluid robots that you two destroyed." "It took me 500 years to create that technology and build those two," Doriano says, sounding upset. "I was controlling them the whole time with my visor, using my facial expressions. That technology took 200 years to make." Doriano quickly adds that detail. "I had a mission to kidnap her and get her off the rail ship. All I had to do was finish beating Dotoro to death, but then you two came in here, put a hole in the roof, putting my life at risk. Thanks to that, I panicked and didn't know what to do. Jonas had to destroy the whole train to salvage the mission. We should leave now, though I was jamming the signals from the rail ship. The emergency rail signal surely went off when I destroyed the ship. The nearest soldiers are on their way now." Jonas says, and the two start to leave. "Please help me!" Garabia pleads before another white strand from the sleeve moves to cover her mouth. "Thanks for explaining everything," Kuiga says sarcastically, I think, as the two start to leave. "Hold on, who are you?" I ask, wanting to know, and that gets Drayonis to stop. "Once Saitan gets here, kills her, and takes you back, tell them that the Third Savior Revolution did this." He says that like he knows what I am. Third Savior? Haven't I heard that before? "You're a revolution? I need help using Saitan's technology to get back to Earth. Can we join?" In an instant, Drayonis drifts right up to me, putting that glowing yellow light right up to my face, and I still can't see any features of his face through the light. "I have been planning this revolution for thousands of years. I don't need the dead weight of some freak weighing me down." Wow. He sounds angry, and I'm a bit nervous to ask, "Can you help me get back to Earth?" He just laughs in my face. "Are you serious?
Do you have any idea how much damage Satan has already done with the Machiora?
The what?
The machine that lets them bend, tear, and break through the dimensional border, you idiot! Don't you know anything? Rest assured, the first thing I'll do when I take control is destroy the Machiora. I won't tolerate its use one more time.
You can't do that! I'll be stranded here! I shout back at his glowing face. I then hear Dotoro groaning in pain. Not much I can do for him, though I probably shouldn't.
Why should I care about you or what you want, you gray little freak?
He's towering over me now, looking straight down at me. I just blurt out what I say next. It feels right. Then I'll start my own revolution and stop you from taking over Saitan, because I'm going to. As soon as I say that, I'm stabbed through the body with several of those black strands from the end of Doriano's left sleeve. They pull out of me and I fall on my back.
There, I solved your problem. Come on, Beragio. We got to get back on schedule.
Right. Satan already has soldiers heading this way. I hear the two say as one walks away and the other silently drifts. I wait a few seconds for my body to heal. Kuiga steps over to me and looks down at me. They're gone, tough guy. And they're right. Soldiers must be coming from the nearest Satan outpost or base. I'm guessing we have an hour? Right, I say, sitting up. My whole body's still hurting from the stabbing. I still want to go to that shipment facility. I want to find Trent. I won't ask you to follow me into danger. It's fine. I have nothing better to do. Seriously? You want to follow me into Satan? Kuiga just shrugs in response. I can't help but feel like I'm taking advantage of her, but she wants to go with me. We won't get far away enough on foot, and we might end up running right into them, even if you carry me again. Do you think there is anything in the wreckage we can use? There must be. Garabia must have brought a craft with her. Kuiga suggests, and that does make sense. I doubt she rode this train to every place she needed to go. Again, we hear Dotoro moaning in a pool of his own blood. Is there anything we can do for him? Why would you want to? He's our enemy. I know, but leaving someone to die like this just doesn't feel right. Doesn't matter. There is nothing we can do. He'll get help when the backup gets here, so we should focus on getting away now. We start searching, and several minutes pass before Kuiga finds it. She's pointing right at it, and I have to take a moment to take it all in. It's a sleek, compact red hovercraft that's on its side. The two of us roll it over. Even I can tell that this is like a criminal sports car. You think we can use this to get across the border? I ask her with excitement as I want to drive this thing. I've rarely seen crafts like this. It must be real expensive. So if it can't, then Garabia got ripped off. Kuiga says, opening it up, and the roof retracts like a convertible. She left the driver in here. I learned from hanging with Bodaka that drivers are those little square things that act like the keys to their crafts. Come on, get in! I shout while jumping into the driver's seat, and I push in the driver, turning it on. It turns on just like Bodaka's craft did. Kuiga jumps into the passenger seat, and we take several minutes to figure out how to get the roof raised back up and all the other controls. I grab the handles. Terate showed me the basics of how to drive these. There are no pedals. Instead, the speed is controlled by pushing the handles in for fast and pulling them back for slow. The craft bursts out from the train wreck and races forward, and in a few seconds we can see the wall of Blackhorns. I'm shocked by how much power this little thing has. We're getting close enough to clearly see the Blackhorn wall. There's a giant tunnel through it that the rail passes through. Get ready. The stories I've heard from eavesdropping on people make the Ipikikis seem really intense. Kuiga warns as we enter the tunnel. Controlling this thing is harder than I thought. It's like I'm driving on ice. Now that we're in the tunnel, it's become so dark. These vines nearly block out all three suns. The craft swerves to the right, and we crash into the Blackhorn vines. This craft tears through them as we go with no problem, but I get the feeling that it's taking a lot of damage. We start to hear the sounds of pounding and scraping outside. Is that the Ipikikis attacking the craft? I shout as the thought of them smashing their way in starts to creep into my head. Yeah, they're going to tear this thing apart if you don't do something. Kuiga shouts back, having the same concern. I don't know what I can do. I look around the dashboard at all these other buttons and switches. Then help me find the lights. We need to see what's going on out there. Try the rest of these switches. I shout and the two of us start flicking every switch and turning every dial. Kuiga finds the right one and gets the lights on. Through the windshield, we can see a few of what look like demonic little chimps with little round orange eyes, dark red fur, and little horns on their heads getting electrocuted on the hood of the craft before falling off. There is a red aura coming off the craft.
We must have turned on the Krelly guard before we turned on the lights, Kuiga says while the Ipikikis are falling off the craft, but some are still able to hang on long enough to pound and damage the exterior. I'm not sure which gauge is the fuel and which is the Krelly, Kuiga says, but they all look to be at least half full. We continue driving, and I hope we've been going straight forward this whole time. It's all been a cacophony of banging, crashing, and shrieking on the outside. The Ipikikis that can endure the shock start tearing off pieces of the craft, sticking their hands inside to rip out more pieces of it. We're not going to make it, Kuiga shouts, terrified. I can feel her gripping my arm as hard as she can. Smoke starts coming out of the front of the craft. All I had to do was drive straight, but this thing swerves so easily, for all I know, we've turned around. The windshield cracks and is about to break from the Ipikikis banging on it. Kuiga and I are just shouting because we don't know what else to do. Out of nowhere, we burst out into the light of day. The Ipikikis jump off, seeming to be scared of the light. The craft bobs up and down before jumping right into the wall of a house. We crash into some giant machine that's against the far wall. By now, the top of the craft has completely broken off. We quickly jump out onto the floor. Looking around the room, I see 7 people who are sitting and eating at the table. We must have just flown over it, narrowly avoiding killing them. They all look terrified and frozen in place from the shock. All 7 of them just keep staring at us. Sorry about all that. We're just passing through, I say, trying not to scare them anymore, as I calmly move across the room to the front door, which is right under the hole we made. I keep facing them as I slowly walk, while smiling to let them know I don't mean them any harm. I keep trying to think of something to say. Kuiga, however, casually walks out as if everything is normal. All the people keep staring at us, eyes wide, mouths open. I'm sure this can be fixed. Hey, maybe you can salvage some of that craft to fix some of this, I say, trying to be friendly. You can stop trying. The door is behind you, Kuiga says, and I turn to see her standing outside. Oh, cool. We both start running in a random direction, anything to get away from that situation. You didn't get hurt in the crash, did you? I ask her, as that was a bumpy landing. No. Wow, those are some good safety features, I say, trying to brush off the unpleasantness of what happened. While running, we hear a lot of terrified shouting. Stopping, we turn to see the people are running out of the house. Are they coming after us? Kuiga asks, but they look too scared to be doing that. Just then, their house explodes. Oh no, was that because of us? I ask, already knowing the answer. Going by how those people are running at us with looks of rage, I think it was. Let's get out of here, I shout, and we turn to run. Why does every place I go to end up being destroyed? I shout, not wanting to think it's always because of me. It's not like you're doing this on purpose, right? She asks quickly, but I don't reply. Besides, only a small part of a watcher was destroyed. Feel better? She said that pretty coldly. No, and right now, we need to get away from those people. I bend down, wanting her to get on my back like before. Ugh, you want to do this again? Why is she saying it like that? She's the one who jumped on me the last time. Is there something she doesn't like about my back? Not the time to think about this. Come on, I'll use my speed and we'll find the rail and follow it to get to the facility Bradagio mentioned. Kuiga gets on and I grab her legs before turning red and racing off. The suns were above us when we started, except for Robian, which was swerving through the sky. All 3 are now moving in different directions. While wondering what time that means it must be, I find the rail and trip over it. We fall and sprawl across the ground. Ow. Sorry, you. Kuiga cuts me off. Yeah, I'm fine. Kuiga responds, getting up. Now we can follow the rail and get this over with. Are you sure we didn't get turned around in the Blackhorns? This could still be Larita. This is definitely Saiton. See all those towers off in the distance? I look around and I see them. They look like metal guard towers. I've seen pictures of those before. People say those are for detecting when something crosses the border, and it's used for communications. Since we came in on a council member's craft, I guess their sensors didn't react to it. You came along with me knowing we could be detected the second we got here? I ask her, finding it odd she didn't mention this. Kuiga just shrugs. What is she thinking? I'll have to worry about her later. Now we need to move. I can't move anymore, I say, gasping for air, wishing for something, almost anything to drink. I've been running for hours non-stop and I feel terrible. I know exactly what to do. Kuiga grabs my right wrist with her tail and starts dragging me across the ground. The pain is bad, but not unbearable, at least not yet, and I'm too exhausted to do anything about it. Before I realize it, everything has gone black. Kuiga! I shout, but there's no answer. I'm not even moving anymore. It feels like I'm lying on my back. Slowly, a face appears in the darkness above me.
I remember this happening before. Your remorse is appreciated, but I think you should take your time and find someone else. You can't trust Nidon. There must be someone better. The voice trails off without finishing its sentence, and the face fades away. Wait, who is Nidon? Who are you? I shout, hoping the face will answer, but it just disappears. A jolt awakes me, and I'm able to move again. And I immediately hit the back of my head on something hard. Looking around, it seems Kuiga left me under some concrete-like platform. Crawling out, I look up to see a large building with a glass geodesic roof. And in front of me looks like loading docks. She left me at the end of the rail. If a train came, I could have been crushed. This place looks like it could be used for shipping things. It then occurs to me that maybe there are some enemies here that could have taken her. I peer over the edge of the platform to see no one. I climb on top and calmly walk over to the wall where a giant hole has been carved into it. Kuiga must have gone on ahead without me. What is she thinking? Why would she do that? I better find her fast, along with any records of Trent. I step through the large hole in the wall, not knowing what to expect. I look around this hallway, but all I see to the right is an open doorway that leads to a large open area. To the left, the hall is lined with doors a few feet down. Everything is calm and quiet, with no alarms going off. Something feels strange. I need to start my search and find where Kuiga went. Chapter 11. End.